Yo, what is going on, Guardians, and welcome back to another Destiny 2 gameplay video. Hey, in this video we're going to be chatting about the sandbox we're in right now with PvP after the massive Stasis Nerfs landing this past week. You know, how's it playing out? Is Destiny PvP in a healthy spot now after these nerfs? And in the background, I've got some gameplay from yesterday. You know, I went into the Crucible with the No Time to Explain exotic pulse rifle, which I loved when it first launched, but then there was like so much else going on, new guns for me to chase, that I kind of put it on the back burner for a while. I picked it back up this week, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. And I'm also using my best found verdict shotgun from the Vault of Glass so far. This one in the gameplay has opening shot, rifled barrel, a ranged masterwork. It's not a god roll, but it's a really good roll. It's got a couple of spots where I could have done better, but yeah, this is the best one we've got so far. In this gameplay, you'll see footage from about 5 different Wii rans, including a 49.0 match I had on Javelin 4. You'll also see lots of purple explosions because I was running Chromatic Fire on Top Tree Voidlock, which has the bloom effect as well. So this build is just about making big explosions, so I hope you enjoy that gameplay. So as you've no doubt heard, Stasis got hit so hard last week, it was all but Thanos snapped into the grave. And I say that jokingly, but truth be told, Stasis, I think it still has a fair amount of utility as a zone control and pace setting subclass in PvP. But it is so good to go into the Crucible and not see anywhere between, you know, 4 and 6 Stasis users on each team. That's the world that we lived in for half a year. It's kind of hard to believe that it's been that long, but it truly was half a year of Stasis domination. And during that time, we continued to see a gradual decline in PvP enthusiasm from the player base. You know, I've constantly been keeping an eye on the PvP numbers and Steam charts, etc. It's really interesting to watch those trends, but we're not here to rehash what PvP was like with Stasis. We're here to talk about what it's like now, you know what I'm saying? So right now in PvP, the slow debuff is not an automatic death, and neither is being frozen by an ability. You don't have that sense of hopelessness with every Stasis ability that tags you, and that's really what's important, giving the player the feeling like what they do matters. You know, when people feel like they're constantly put into positions where their choices really won't change the outcome of an encounter, well, they leave. It's overwhelmingly frustrating and unsatisfying gameplay, so people left. They did. Some people loved Stasis in PvP and still do, and that's totally fine, but the majority of players showed they were dissatisfied by either speaking up about it or quietly excusing themselves from Destiny PvP. You know, some people did both. They were both loud about it and gone, and loud about themselves being gone, you know, and I think that just speaks to the level of frustration that was sort of universally felt by a lot of players across our community. I will tell you that I fall off the log and believe that Crucible, without Stasis being the most dominant factor, is a better Crucible. That's my sincere belief, and I know that surprises a lot of you. You know, I still get these people all the time who are like, man, you were so constantly against Stasis. I even had people on Twitter yesterday who were like, are you happy now? You did this to us. You got Stasis nerf. And I think, honestly, I think I'm humbled, and I feel complimented, I guess, that they think I have that much sway. I can tell you that I do not have that much pull at the studio, so it is definitely not my doing. I think there were a lot of people who were upset about Stasis, and I know that the Bungie devs, the team that looks into sandbox and balance, there's several great minds on that team, and they spoke about, I don't know if you watched the firing range episode last week, where Tocom, Kevin Yanis, and Chris Proctor both talked about what was going on behind the scenes and sort of their vision for Stasis and how it kind of went off the rails, and they knew that, and they were like, man, we're gonna immediately start working on reeling this back in, but we got to ship it now, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, they knew, they were aware, by their accounts, they were already aware that Stasis was gonna be too hot and they needed to reel it back in, and they already got started on those things. That's why some of those nerfs happened like within the first 2 weeks, you know what I'm saying? Like they already had some stuff ready to go. So all that to say, I didn't do it. They knew. They were already of that mindset that Stasis was going to have to be reeled in long before I ever said anything bad about it. But now that we're past that point, you know, I think, yes, they could add a little more mobility back to Shiver Strike and protect the PvE experience a little bit better. I know a lot of PvE Stasis users are a little on the upset side right now, and I totally understand that. But other than that, I think this was a net win for Destiny, in my opinion. But is that going to be enough to revitalize the PvP experience? Is the Crucible a healthy place now with a bustling player base? Not exactly. Here's how I see it. The Crucible is a sort of slowly decaying thing right now, unfortunately. It's been sitting there with several open wounds, you know, some bigger than others. Stasis Domination was one of those big open wounds, and thank God that we got that one patched up. That's fantastic. But there's still a lot of work to be done. Some of it is, you know, more damage control and quality of life stuff, like, you know, making sure things like Chaos Reach and Top Tree Dawnblade don't get out of hand. Like protecting players with a more optimal form of lobby balancing and matchmaking, so outliers on opposite ends of the spectrum should never end up in the same lobby together. But the biggest open wound now that Stasis has been dealt with is the fact that there has been no significant advancement of the PvP experience since Forsaken launched. And that's really the be-all end-all here. PvP got a nice chunk of fresh content in September of 2018, including several new maps, a new comp grind system, Luna's Howl, not forgotten. Comp already existed, but it got a little bit of a rework. You know, new game modes and playlists, a complete revamp to the special and kinetic weapon systems, brand new weapon archetypes, and more. And on top of that, there was significant trickle down from the PvE content as well, in the form of, you know, new subclasses and gear, etc. And since then, almost all of the content we've received in PvP has been trickled down from PvE for nearly 3 years now. We got Fragment right in that gap, which is, you know, it's an okay map. I don't mind it, but it's just one map in the middle of it, like an almost 3-year span. But I'm really concerned that we've had nothing substantial since then, outside of Trials of Osiris, which I don't mean to undersell the shipping of Trials. You know, we got some old maps, at least, in the rotation, and some of them play out pretty well. You know, I don't want to dunk on that entirely. I know that a lot of work went into shipping Trials of Osiris, but Trials isn't really accessible to the majority of players. So not only that, but we've heard absolutely nothing publicly about the future for PvP maps or content. And in my honest opinion, the PvP community feels overlooked, and they absolutely should. They deserve to know if they should keep waiting around expecting something new, or if they should check their hopeful expectations moving forward. Maybe give us a date. Listen, we know we said we have a revitalized focus, a renewed focus on PvP. Here's when you can expect to see that in season whatever, 15, 16, 17. Just let us know. Let the PvP community know how to set their expectations realistically. We know Bungie has allocated a lot of manpower and capital into a new PvP IP that's separate from Destiny 2, but many people feel like they got ditched for a new project. And that's a completely understandable sentiment for them to have. Simply put, these stasis changes were fantastic. But we are well overdue for Destiny to go beyond just damage control and healing and push into advancing the game to new places. If Destiny wants to continue to actively support a PvP experience in their game, they're going to need to show some good faith, while other live service PvP games are constantly on the grind and on the move forward, while D2 treads water. And that's where we're at. I want to express that I do feel very positive about the future of Destiny and about progression of this game, but I'm also going to be honest and realistic in my assessment of the present day. I still love the game, and I'm having a lot more fun now that Stasis got hit hard. We seem to be getting back to where we were, and that's great, but I'm ready to see Destiny go further and push the limits. Like Captain Yami says, So what do you think about D2 PvP right now? How are you liking the changes? Are you still playing it, and how often? So thanks for tuning in and watching the video. I hope you enjoyed the gameplay and the discussion. Feel free to stop by the stream sometime at truevanguard.com. And be warm and well fed, my friends, and I hope to catch you in the Crucible.